meaning that Californians and people all over the country, when they breathe the air, thanks to your good work, it'll mean there's more diesel and more other particulate matter in the air. When they drink a glass of water, they may not be able to see it, but this water that Americans drink is going to have more chemicals like PFAS, forever chemicals in their water. I want to be very specific about the legacy you're going to leave if you're successful in eliminating half of our efforts to clean our water and our air. Your legacy will be more lung cancer. It'll be more bladder cancer. It'll be more head and neck cancer. It'll be more breast cancer. It'll be more leukemia and pancreatic cancer, more liver cancer, more skin cancer, more kidney cancer, more testicular cancer, more colorectal cancer, more rare cancers of innumerable varieties. That will be your legacy.
Welcome back to MAGA Capital, where we say what the mainstream media won't. If you're tired of out-of-touch elitists pretending they care while pushing anti-American agendas, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay until the end because this one's going to fire you up. Today's video is about yet another unhinged performance from Adam Schiff. Yes, the same Schiff who spent years lying to the American people about Russian collusion. Now, he's decided to put on a show against the Trump administration's EPA Director, Mr. Zelden. But let's be honest, this wasn't about environmental policy. This was a political hit job. Adam Schiff ranted, raved, and dramatized a laundry list of supposed failures, accusing Zelden of gutting the EPA, trying to poison children, and in his usual fashion, using fear tactics like cancer and death to stir emotion. Let me tell you something. The only thing Schiff is trying to protect is his own political relevance. Zelden is doing the job Americans elected this administration to do. Cut bloated bureaucracy, stop funneling tax dollars into endless programs with little oversight, and end the weaponization of agencies that push radical agendas under the banner of environmental justice. Let's look at what Schiff was really mad about. Grants being frozen that, according to him, would have saved 31,000 kids in Santa Ana. But here's the truth. Government grants, especially under Democrat-run cities, are often filled with waste, inefficiency, and zero accountability. Zelden asked a basic question. Who applied for the grant? Schiff couldn't answer without another emotional meltdown. That tells you everything.
Mr. Zelden, you've only been at the EPA for a few months, but in that time, you've done more to dismantle this agency than probably all of your predecessors put together. That may be a source of pride for you, but it is not for the American people. You've unlawfully terminated grants without justification. You've fired and pushed out some of the best scientists who inform EPA's decision-making. You refuse to spend money that Congress has appropriated to the EPA by law. And you've launched a pro-polluter effort to delete dozens of environmental protections. On top of all this, you've launched an effort to overturn California's Clean Air Act waivers that improve the quality of air breathed by 40 million Californians and by millions more in other states who have adopted California's high standards. That effort, for which my colleagues have decided to eliminate the filibuster to achieve, is not exactly what anyone would call cooperative federalism. But it's your budget that's the ultimate proof of your priorities. You propose cutting America's environmental agency by 55%, meaning that in your view and that of President Trump, more than half of the environmental efforts of the EPA, more than half of the efforts to make sure Americans have clean air and clean water are just a waste. They're just a waste. Meaning that Californians and people all over the country, when they breathe the air, thanks to your good work, it'll mean there's more diesel and more other particulate matter in the air. When they drink a glass of water, they may not be able to see it, but this water that Americans drink is going to have more chemicals like PFAS, forever chemicals in their water. This will be your good work. I want to be very specific about the legacy you're going to leave if you're successful in eliminating half of our efforts to clean our water and our air. Your legacy will be more lung cancer. It'll be more bladder cancer. It'll be more head and neck cancer. It'll be more breast cancer. It'll be more leukemia and pancreatic cancer, more liver cancer, more skin cancer, more kidney cancer, more testicular cancer, more colorectal cancer, more rare cancers of innumerable varieties. That will be your legacy. I don't know that that's a legacy that anyone should want to have. My kids are going to be breathing that air just like yours. My family's going to be drinking the water just like yours. We may not be able to pinpoint just who gets cancer because you've done away with half the budget of those looking out for our clean water and clean air. But it's going to be somebody's kids, it's going to be somebody's family. To put this in more specific terms, there are 22 grants frozen by the EPA focused on improving health and reducing pollution, many of which directly impact children. For example, one project in Santa Ana, California, provided funding to help detect and prevent lead poisoning in children. According to the census, about 10% of the population in Santa Ana are under the age of 9. With a population of about 310,000 people, that means that 31,000 children are at risk of lead poisoning in Santa Ana without this funding. What is it about this grant that you and EPA believe is problematic enough to freeze this funding and put potentially 31,000 children at risk?
Senator, who is the grant applicant?
This is to the city of Santa Ana.
You have the biggest,
And are
you have
you-
the biggest
are you-
state, so
and
we're
are
going to have to
you-
go through every single list of the grant.
Well,
By the way, with that wind up, by the way, I understand that you were an aspiring fiction writer. I see why.
Oh, yeah. Well, I understand your view that you can cut half of the agency and it won't affect people's health or their water or their air. That, to me, is a big fiction, Mr. Zeldin.
You've forgotten about the fact of cleaning up
I have to
the
think,
LA
Mr.
wildfires.
Zeldin, I think, Mr. Zeldin,
President when I was
if
in San
if
Diego.
your children were
Look at
drinking
Tijuana
water,
River sewage crisis.
if your
Apparently
children
we're going
were
out on our
drinking
own for
water
that.
in Santa Ana, Mr. Zeldin, maybe you wouldn't be so cavalier about whether there was lead in their water. Maybe you would give a damn instead of coming in here and suggesting that any grant that takes lead out of the water must be waste, fraud, or abuse because you
gentleman's
need
time has
because
expired.
you
Who said
need
that? The whole
the
thing,
money for a
everything
tax
you
cut
said,
for rich people
your time. It's all
because
make-believe.
you're totally beholden to the oil industry.
The gentleman's time.
You could give a rat's ass about how much cancer your agency
you're trying to
causes.
destroy.
The
Impeach,
gentleman's
resist.
time has expired. The chair recognizes herself.
Schiff wants to paint the Trump administration as heartless. But what he doesn't understand is this. Conservatives aren't against clean air and water. We're against corruption, waste, and using environmentalism as a Trojan horse to kill American energy and prosperity. And what did Schiff do? He had the nerve to accuse Zelden of not giving a rat's ass. This is the kind of juvenile grandstanding we've come to expect from him. He's not fighting for clean air. He's fighting for headlines on MSNBC. This is the same Democrat Party that is fine with wide open borders, pouring fentanyl into our cities, but wants to lecture Americans about cancer risks because we're cutting grants that probably funded someone's pet project in an ivory tower university. Zelden, despite the hostile environment, kept calm. He didn't take Schiff's bait. He focused on cutting waste, holding corrupt systems accountable, and defending President Trump's America First environmental policy, which balances human prosperity with real conservation, not fake virtue signaling. We need more people like Zelden. We need less Adam Schiff. So if you're tired of the noise, the lies, and the endless emotional blackmail from the left, share this video, like it, and subscribe to MAGA Capital. We're just getting started in calling out the left's lies and defending common sense in Washington. This isn't about air or water. It's about who runs this country, the people or power-hungry politicians like Adam Schiff.